Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Dan Hiscock, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Flight Lieutenant Greg Young. This evening we are honoured to acknowledge His Excellency Mr Marko Ham, Ambassador of the Republic of Slovenia to Australia, Miss Suzana Lepshimenko, Miss Vera Granfol and the accompanying delegation. As always, we welcome the veterans who have served, those still serving and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Service Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. If you wish to and you're able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Trooper Frederick John Auger. Frederick Auger was born around October 1880 in Liverpool, England, the son of Charles and Emily Auger. He joined the British Army and served with the King's Royal Rifles, including seeing active service in South Africa during the Boer War in 1901. Serving with the 4th Battalion, the King's Royal Rifles, he was part of a 2-company detachment sent to establish and guard blockhouses along the 70-kilometre stretch of railway in the north of Cape Province. On the 15th of September, Auger was severely wounded in Zixershire. Auger returned to Britain, where his wounds saw him discharged from service. He returned to Liverpool, where, around 1904, he suffered a bout of rheumatism and the after effects which would linger for the rest of his life. Before the First World War, Auger had gone to sea and worked as a ship's steward. He also emigrated to Australia, and when not at sea, he was living in Birkenhead in Sydney. When war was declared, he enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force in Sydney on the 14th of September 1914, joining the newly raised 1st Light Horse Regiment. After some initial training, Auger embarked from Sydney with his unit on the 20th of October aboard the transport ship Star of Victoria, bound for Egypt. Further training in Egypt followed, and in late April 1915, the Light Horsemen heard news of the landing on Gallipoli made by their comrades in the infantry. Casualties were high, and in early May, the 1st Light Horse Regiment and other Light Horse units were sent to Gallipoli to act as infantry. Soon after arriving, the 1st Light Horse was sent to Pope's Post at the head of Monash Gully. From May to July, the men rotated between duty at Pope's Post and to rest and fatigue, party their duties in Monash and reserve valleys. By the end of July, the rigours of service had taken their toll on Auger, who was admitted to hospital. He was evacuated to Egypt and admitted to the No. 1 General Hospital at Heliopolis. He soon was diagnosed with mitral stenosis, a narrowing of the heart's mitral valve. On the 29th of August, he embarked from Alexandria aboard the troop ship Euripides, bound for Australia. He was discharged from service soon after returning. Auger's health deteriorated, and in December he was admitted to hospital, suffering from heart disease. He died on the morning of the 13th of December and was laid to rest in Rookwood Necropolis 3 days later. He was 35 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of many of the stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Trooper Frederick John Auger, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub of Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorials Development Project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.